Okay, guys, welcome. I have a feeling not many students are going to show up. You guys are busy. Make sure to write a message and say hi when you come in. See the first student. Hello. Hi, guys. Get comfortable. Just going to pull up the module guide in case any of you guys have questions that I need to double check. All right. So. All right. So. I hope you guys are all doing well. I haven't seen you in a long time. Today's live stream, the point or the purpose of this is to give you a platform to ask me questions that I can answer directly. I will just mention a couple of things to touch base with where we are right now, but primarily this is for me to answer any questions you may have. I will update you guys. I am, let's see, with giving feedback on drafts. For 2C, I've given feedback to 7 students, and I still have to do 8 students. So those are students who have uploaded at the point before the deadline and given feedback. Well, some of you guys, I have to wait until I see if you've given feedback or not. I've started with the students who have already given feedback. You guys have until tomorrow night before the end of the day to give your peer review feedback. And then 2G, I've given 6 students feedback, and I have 5 left to give feedback to. So those are the ones who submitted their drafts in time. Some of you may still have to give peer review feedback before the end of the day tomorrow. So if you haven't done that yet, if you've submitted your draft by the deadline, but you haven't done the peer review, make sure to do that. I won't share my feedback with you until you've done that. So even if I've completed it, you still won't get it from me until you have done the peer review there in class blogs. So you guys have some time then. I should finish giving the feedback by Monday based on when you submitted it and when you did your peer review. Then everybody should have their feedback by Monday, which gives you the full school week to make your changes and edits before you submit it. I hope that it's clear for everybody where you need to submit it on Blackboard, and that the deadline is next Friday, April 3rd, before midnight on THUAS. Make sure that you check out the video lesson from this week, from week 6, to see the details, and in the module guide, what needs to be included within your submission. You need to do it on blogs and also on THUAS. No hard copy is necessary. I won't be going to the university anytime soon until they open up again. So that's it. And next week is the buffer week, week 7. I will not upload a content lesson, but what I will do is upload a video with the introduction to term 4. So the information about what's to come in the next term. And then after that, the first week of the term, I will upload a video with content again. So the 7th lesson video will come up then the first week of term 4. But yeah, that's it then. We're up to date. If you haven't checked them out already, I've uploaded videos for I did the recap video of lesson weeks 1 through 3. I did a video for week 4, a video for week 5, and a video for week 6 already. They're on my channel. And I've uploaded in class blogs what the assignments are specifically. And you either have or will be receiving feedback on your draft if you've done it in time. If you haven't done it in time, but you still want some feedback, use the forms, contact a classmate, and do the peer review. And I highly suggest that, because I see that some of the drafts I've gotten back in my classes after they've gone through the peer review were much better than before the peer review. So it really makes a difference, and it helps. And it also helps me to give you better feedback for the future. So for term 4, our next writing assignment, make use of the peer review before you submit a draft to me for feedback, and you'll get better feedback. You'll have a better paper and a higher grade. So I hope you guys are doing okay, that you're feeling well, and you're not overwhelmed. And yeah, just let me know if you have any questions. I think everything is clear. I hope everything is clear. If you have any questions, write them there in the chat, and I will answer them. And that's it. So I'll wait a few more minutes, see if you guys have any questions. If you don't, then refer back to the video lessons that I've already posted. All the information about deadlines are there. All the content is there. And then, yeah, that's that. I was going to offer, if you guys wanted to do something more collaborative next week in the buffer week, that we could do either something on Microsoft Teams or perhaps on Zoom or Blackboard Collaborative. I wanted to ask you guys whether you want to do something like that. Next term, I will be speaking to the module manager, Dave van Ginhoven, about the options. We've been discussing it a bit, and some of the other teachers who teach this course as well. And we've been talking about what we can do to make sure we maintain that contact with you guys and that we give you the best education possible via distance learning. So if you have any preferences for certain tools, whether it be Microsoft Teams, whether it be Zoom, whether it be Blackboard Collaborate, whatever it is, let me know, and I will make sure to pass that on to him, and we will try to incorporate that then in the next term. So, yeah. At this point, I don't see any questions. I don't have anything else that I want to add. I do want to give you guys a pat on the back. I want to say, awesome job, well done. So many students were able to submit their draft on time. I'm really proud of you. Unfortunately, I am a bit slower giving feedback because of it, because I've had in all of my writing courses, year 1, year 2, also at my other university, my students have been excellent with submitting drafts by the deadline. So congratulations. I'm really happy with you guys for that. I see a comment from Mariska. Good morning. I have 2 questions. Excellent. One is about how to cite an online site. There's not an author, but I can use the site name as the author, ? The other is about the font size. Does it have to be 12 point or is 11 also fine? So in the module guide, I'll check the page. It gives the outlines of what the assignment should be. And I believe that it mentions Times New Roman and or Calibri, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and it's 12 point. But let me check. I'll give you the page number from the module guide where it says that. Okay, so on page number 20 of the module guide, it says your proposal in 1.5 line spacing. It does not give the font size. If there's any reason that you specifically want to do size 11 rather than size 12, I don't mind. Don't go smaller than size 11 though. My eyesight's not the best, so it's a little bit difficult then. I would say depending on the font, if you use Arial, for example, probably better to use 11 because Arial is a lot bigger than, for example, Times New Roman. But if you stick to Times New Roman, Arial, or Calibri, then you're fine with those fonts. And then I would say size 11 or 12, definitely 12 for Times New Roman. If you use Arial, 11 is more than appropriate. I'm not sure with Calibri which the best one is, but 1.5 spacing. Make sure also to include a space in between the paragraphs as well, that it's not really clumped together, because we don't do the indenting like you do in MLA. So it needs a space in between the paragraphs. Otherwise, it looks very clumped together. Now, that was your second question. So if that's answered, let me know if it's not. And then the first question, going back, you said how to cite an online site. So if there's no author, then you would give the name of the site. Let's say you got it from WashingtonPost.com and they didn't have an author listed for the article. Then you would just do in the parentheses Washington Post, comma, and then the year. And I would like to point out that we have a really good APA guide for you. I could post, I don't think I can upload in YouTube a link, so I will just let you know. If you go to course manual on Blackboard, go to our course manual videos and useful links. And then you go to short guides to writing and editing with videos. You'll see that first section, which has an essay writing short version video from Dave. And then the bottom has text that says the writing database, blah, 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 blah. And then it says you can also visit the guide on APA style. And there at the bottom, they have an APA manual for European studies. I'm just going to copy and paste that link right now, and I hope that it'll work if I post it in the chat. You should be able to. So I've posted it. Oh, it's 5. Oh, I can't do it. It's 5. It's 5 letters too long, but hopefully you followed along with what I said. Okay, you're welcome. All right, so I can't do the link directly to the European Studies APA manual because it's too long, but I can try to give you, yeah, that one's shorter. So I can give you the SharePoint link, and then if you scroll to the bottom, you can find the manual on APA style for European studies, and it covers quite nicely the points, things like no author or multiple authors or multiple sources from the same author. Those are always tricky, and you always have to go back and check. I always have to go back and double check as well because I get confused. So just when in doubt, always check. But yeah, so I hope that answered your question. Let me know if you have any others. Or if, I only have 2 students, guys. That's okay. More quality for you guys, more feedback for you. And Mariska, sorry about that. I think I wrote Mariska on the file name document. I realized it later, and then I said, ooh, changed your name. Sorry about that. Good. Okay, you're welcome. All right. So I'll stay in here for a few more minutes. I like to make sure I'm available for at least 15 minutes for students that may be running a bit late or something. But I don't really have a lot of other things to add right now. I think I've posted everything for you guys. You're still going to be getting feedback from me if you haven't already. Mariska, I know you've gotten feedback from me. If you have questions about your feedback, maybe now is a good time. I can also open the document right now. But yeah, that's basically everybody's. Let me see. It wasn't only Mariska, but Mariska. I have to rename that document. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, and then you had a space that was a bit unsure. And I asked you, okay. Yeah, and you also had, in one of your body paragraphs, you had 2 different sources back to back using parentheses, Mariska. So what you need to do is do the first source and then a semicolon and then the second source and include them in the same parentheses, the same brackets. So instead of 2 separate sets back to back, that they're in one set, and then you just have a semicolon, that the dot with the comma under it. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll peek through. Yeah, just some grammar things. Most of your reference list looks okay, Mariska, but sometimes your indent starts over at the side. I think it's only with links though, which is, yeah, it's only with links, which can be difficult. It's correct sometimes and it's not correct sometimes. So just double check that. And then for your final submission, make sure that your reference list is on its own page separate. I think some students just did it on the same page for the drafts, but if you, just in case you don't know, make sure it's on a separate page for the final one. Oh, and I already told you that, but. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay. I hope it was clear. Did you like the way that I gave the feedback? It's hard because often I get kind of down a rabbit hole and I start to give too much feedback and then it takes too much time, but I want to make sure I give enough feedback. So I hope that it was clear for you. I hope that you were able to make use of my feedback. Not just you, but all of the students that have gotten feedback thus far. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything really important that I'm forgetting. This course is pretty easygoing. It's very, self-study. You are taking the wheel for a lot of it. Class 7, we'll have the introduction to part 2. I'll do that in a separate video. Then we'll talk about logic and reasoning. Then we'll go on and we'll talk about the next rating assignment. You'll have again reasoning tree, essay, progress memorandum, EPM, and then we'll have again feedback, and then you'll have a writing clinic, and we'll discuss some grammar topics such as run-on sentences, and we'll have peer review again. We'll discuss some different phrases that you guys can make use of, and then you'll get again feedback from me on the next writing assignment. Okay, perfect. You're most welcome, Mariska. I'm happy to hear that. I don't see any other questions from any other students right now, so I think I'm going to log off. Oh, yes. Yay, another question. I love questions. For the efforts upload, is it just the essay with the references enough? So no, Yes, I would recommend doing that as long as your class blog, that's a good question, as long as your class blog entry has the full portfolio. So it has your essay progress memorandum, it has the version of the draft that you posted, it has your peer review post, what you gave to the other student, and then also that submission form. So you have to sign saying that is your own work and you did all of this and you knew that you had to do this. So that should be in the appendix below in the class blog. So you can do a title page if you want, you don't have to, but your name with your student number, all of that, and the title should be clear, your regular essay, then the reference list, and then all of those portfolio elements will go below in the class blogs. But for EFRIS, it's fine to just do the actual essay with the reference list, because then the portfolio, the plagiarism scanner doesn't get as confused. I can still see and I can unclick it and see that it's not part of that, but it's just easier and cleaner to do it without, as long as it's clearly posted in class blogs. So yeah, if that answers your question, I hope. If not, let me know. And I think that it's clear for everybody where to post it. Let me double check the page, what it looks like. Yeah, so on the left side, the green column, it says submit essays to EFRIS. And then you click the link, the folder, go here to upload essay 1 for a plagiarism scan. And then you just go to our class, either 2C or 2G if you're my student. You're welcome, Mariska. All right, guys. So I think that's it. I don't have any other students asking questions right now. If you're coming in, you're seeing this later after the live stream has ended, and you still have a question, feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to answer. You can also write a comment on the video, whichever way, I will answer you. And if you haven't received feedback yet, you will be receiving feedback soon if you submitted your draft by the deadline and did the peer review. The peer review is due then by Friday, tomorrow, before the end of the day. So if you want feedback from me, make sure you've done that. And next week in the buffer week, I will post a kind of introduction to the next term and what we'll be doing. All right, guys, you're welcome for everything. And thank you guys for submitting your drafts. Take care of yourselves, be healthy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.